and gentlemen, welcome to Bracket Brothers, brought to you by SAC Comedy Lab. Please give it up for your hosts, Sean and Pat.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Bracket Brothers.
Thanks
I'm
for joining
Sean.
us again. I'm Pat. We are brothers.
Oh, and real quick, just so we get this out of the way, this is Hamburger. She's a stray cat who followed us home, and she just got spayed, so she has a cone on. So if you see things falling in the background, it's Hamburger. So anyway, because she's nibbling at my feet. So anyway, thank you for coming back or coming for the first time. This is Bracket Brothers. Pat and I are real brothers in real life and on the internet. So yeah, Pat, what do you got to say about the show? How excited are you?
If you've been here before, you know the show. If it's your first time joining us, welcome. This is an intense debate show where we break down a bracket of top items in pop culture. Previous episodes, we've done blockbuster movies. We've done fast food locations. You know, we're really talking the important stuff. And
Yeah,
we're really pumped. This week is actually the start of a 3-part series where we break down what the people really want to know about, which is, of course, theme park attractions.
That's correct. We're going to do Walt Disney World today. Coming down the road is Universal. And then coming down the road, we are going to be pinning those monoliths against each other and seeing what's going to win between Universal and Disney. So it's going to be amazing. So without further ado, I say we get our freaking guests in here. How about that, Pat?
Yeah, let's get our freaking guests.
All right, so today we got Lisa, we got Arena, we got Mike. Let's bring them in.
Lisa,
hello.
Arena, and Michael. Mike.
I got somebody that wants to be Hamburger.
Oh
Who's the cat? This is Nacho.
Hi, Nacho.
Nacho.
Well, they are destined to be friends.
My cat's name is Noodle, so they're all BFFs.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and this
to our
is
guests.
this is Leonardo.
Thank you.
Also a stray.
A guitar.
Also a stray.
So
rescued.
Before we get into this, let's go around. I'd love to hear just a quick who you are and what makes you love Walt Disney World or attractions in general. Lisa, what's your backstory?
Oh, I've got all kinds of backstory. So yeah, I've been working for Walt Disney World for 23 years. And I came here as a kid, so all of these attractions, except for maybe Rise of the Resistance, I've actually ridden several times. So yeah, that's my backstory.
Awesome. Arena, who are you?
Hello. I have worked for Disney for 9.5 years, which is wild. I was seasonal, part-time college program, full-time, seasonal, part-time, full-time TA. I've worked at Star Tours, the Disney Store, the Ganachery. I was a character performer, and I work for Walt Disney Imagineering.
Wow. A full resume. And Michael, who are you?
I am a podcaster who talks about this stuff. We talk about theme park rides. It's a podcast called Podcast The Ride. We break down rides we like, but we also talk about shopping malls and George Clooney and Randy Gerber's tequila. So it covers a large amount of different topics, but we do episodes based on rides, and we spend 2.5 hours talking about, the foyer of the Haunted Mansion.
I just, on the drive back from getting our cat spayed, we listened to the Mr. Six episode about the mascot of Six Flags, which went on a whole, it's a journey. So I'm a big fan of the pod. You guys should all check it out.
Yes, Mr. Six is the old dancing man from those Six Flags commercials. And we did over 2 hours talking about him, I think.
It's a long one.
Yeah.
I support it.
So that's the podcast.
So it'll probably hurt Mike's heart as we talk about 16 attractions in less than an hour.
This is insane. This is not enough time.
No, we are shortening this. We started with like 50 and we narrowed it down to 16. So again, before we get into this, there are two things we want to say. First of all, as you heard, some of us do work for the Walt Disney Company. None of our opinions represent those of the Walt Disney Company. Legalese, blah, blah, blah. Please, if any of the Bobs are watching, I'd love to come back from furlough, Bob. But please don't sue me. And then secondly, of course, this is a kind of a caveat we give at the top. We love our haters. # we love our haters. Please, in the comments, let us know what we missed. The Skyliner should be on there. It's not, but thank you for that. We do love our haters. We love our lovers. But please blast the comments with what we missed. and of course what rides might lose quickly, and you're gonna be sad about it. So that's it. So if we could, let's throw it over to my screen over here. We're gonna walk through the regions because, as you know, for super fans of the show, we do have our bracket broken down into 4 regions, which make complete sense. And we're going to go through that if we can bring up that screen. All right. So up first in the top left, we have Big Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain, Expedition Everest, Space Mountain. This one's pretty straightforward. This is the mountain region, right? Makes sense. Apologies to any mountains that did not make it, but here we are. Over in the top right, we have Flight of Passage, Kilimanjaro Safaris, Jungle Cruise, Dinosaur. A crowd favorite, we have our animal region. So we will be talking animals, both real and robot. Back in the bottom left, Haunted Mansion, Pirates, People Mover, Spaceship Earth. That's our slow baby region. This is where Small World would have been. Arena, I apologize that it's not here, but it did not make the cut. And then, of course, the bottom right, we have Star Wars, Rise of the Resistance, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith, and the Seven Dwarves Mine Train, which is, of course, this is the name too long region. These are these attractions where there's too many names, and they can reduce it down to what we all call them, right? It's like the Rise, Tower, Coaster, Mine Train. So that's what we're going to be probably calling them. But so here's the bracket. Here's what it looks like. This is coming down to one winner. I will say whatever makes the final 4 will be moving on to face the final 4 from the universal bracket. So just so in case your favorite doesn't actually win, as long as it's in that final 4, it may win the ultimate. You know, we might have different winners. Who knows? So it's really exciting. Any questions before we get into this bad boy?
I have one question.
Yeah, the floor is yours.
You used to do the Holiday Comedy Warehouse show. Is that where I know you from?
Me?
Yes.
Yes. I think so.
Okay, I'm like obsessed with you. You guys sang a song about how the fire department busted down my door on Christmas because they thought our backyard was on fire.
Well, that was lovely. That was a lovely moment.
Funny?
Yeah,
Yes.
Lisa's a goddamn star, a gosh dang star, and we're pumped to have her here with us. And I think we got to get right to it. So let's get to it. Our first matchup.
Pat, take them through it. What do we got?
All right, starting at the top left, we got Big Thunder Mountain versus Space Mountain.
What do we got? What do people think?
Oh man.
I've said it on the podcast before. I kind of think Big Thunder Mountain's my low-key favorite ride. So I love Space Mountain. This isn't fair, by the way, to go a first round like this. This is insane. I hate this, honestly.
Yep.
But this is these are the rules, and I have to play by them. So I gotta go Big Thunder. I mean, I have to go Big Thunder. The fake rocks are perfect. You know, and that's one of the number one things we talk about on our show is fake rocks. And I have to say, like, it's the perfect little ride. Could the third lift hill be a little better at Disneyland and in Disney World? Sure. Mm-hmm. But apparently they fixed it in Paris, and I have yet to do it. So I have to go Big Thunder.
Yeah, I think I'm also going to go Big Thunder on this one. I love Space Mountain. I will say I think Walt Disney World has the worst Space Mountain of all the Space Mountains.
Oh, my God. It rattles your spine. It's insane.
Yeah. It's a little rough. I'm gonna be going Big Thunder on this one. I do love a fake rock. I don't want to get into this, Mike, but Arena has created fake rocks at Disneyland. So if you guys want to offline that fanboy conversation, we can do that. But I'm gonna be going with Big Thunder. What else? I'd love to hear what everyone else has.
I love.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I love Space Mountain because I love that old timey like 60s what they thought the future and like space would be like. I love that. And I love that it's in the dark and you hear like, hurr, hurr. But the thing about Big Thunder Mountain, and I may be swayed to go towards Big Thunder Mountain, is because it's just got a little bit more character in it. And I'll never forget, it was my friend and I, and we were riding together, and then there was this other girl behind us. Like usually there's only 2 people that can sit in that thing. So it's our turn, and we both get in the car. And then here comes this one girl, have no idea who she is, a stranger, immediately gets in the car, the thing goes down, and she puts her arms up like, it's fun time, yeah? She rode with us the whole time like that. And we're just laughing, like smushed in the middle. We're like, what the heck's going on? It was awesome, but it was just like, and perhaps that foreign lady won it for, I don't know, Big Thunder Mountain for me.
Well, shout out to her. She should on the show.
I love her. Okay, I have a story. So everybody knows that Space Mountain is Matterhorn in the dark, at least at Walt Disney World. So my first trip to Walt Disney World, I did not know this because I'm an Arizona kid. I grew up going to Disneyland. So I thought that Space Mountain was like California Space Mountain, which is fancy and is very smooth, and you actually go into a seat that you feel safe and comfortable in. I did not know that you were sitting on a rickety bench like the Matterhorn. So I put my phone in my pocket of my jacket, and the first bump we went over, my phone just flew out of my pocket into the ride. And this was like 2 a.m. during EMH, and I had to go to Lost and Found the next day, but it was 2010, so my phone was a brick, and it survived. God bless. So my vote is for Big Thunder Mountain. R.I.P. My phone.
Feels like we may have a unanimous vote. Let's go ahead and vote on this one. We got a lot to get through and not so much time. So
I just want to throw in the notes. If you've ever had the opportunity to ride Space Mountain with the lights on, that ride should scare you more than it probably already does.
All right,
that's it.
Let's go. Let's put our hands up for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And that's a sweep, ladies and gentlemen. That's a clean sweep.
Ooh, I like this new graphic.
Early on.
The promise of Space Mountain, though, I will say, is infinite. And I just want to say that, like, it feels like Thunder Mountain has a lead up because it's more timeless. Mm-hmm. But a new version of Space Mountain could win, is all I'm saying.
That's true. I don't disagree.
Okay. That's fair.
All right.
Space Mountain.
Up next in the mountain region, we have Expedition Everest versus Splash Mountain, soon to be Princess Tiana's splashing adventure. We don't have a name yet. So we're not going to get into the politics of this. I think we're all fans of improvements to the park. We'll leave it at that. So we have current state Splash Mountain versus Expedition Everest. I'd love to hear some thoughts.
Are we also talking current state Expedition Everest or opening 2006 Expedition?
I mean, we should be
First
talking
11 months Expedition.
I think it's important to discuss what a ride has been and what it's led to. But I'll start quickly with, I think Splash Mountain is one of the most whimsical 7 minutes you can spend. Unfortunately, it is a water ride. I don't love water rides unless I'm like planning to ride a water ride. That being said, I think Expedition Everest is maybe the best roller coaster Disney has ever done. Mm-hmm. So this is actually a very tough toss-up for me coming out of the bat.
Yeah, it's like Everest is kind of, other than, of course, we're talking about the Yeti, I assume, not working. It's years now. Rhodey keeps saying he's going to fix it. Where is the fix, Joe, is what we keep saying. But you know, it is perfect. Like the queue is perfect. I'm so stupid, and I want to believe so much that one of the first times I went on it, I'm looking through the queue, and they slowly like show you newspaper articles about the Yetis discovered, and I was like, did they discover a Yeti? And I'm like,
my mom legitimately was like, wow, those pictures are really interesting. I've never seen anything like that before, and I was like, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, I think it lasted for like 5 minutes or less, and then I go, wait, no, of course not. You're an idiot, Michael. But that speaks to how good the ride is and how perfect that theming is leading up to it. And like as far as splashes, my favorite thing in Splash is the America Sings characters at the end in Disneyland.
That's Disneyland.
It's specifically Disneyland, so it's not as exciting. I know there's some better things about the one in Florida. But my favorite is the fact that those are the Mark Davis America Sings characters at the end.
It's a great one. This is tough. The comments, I will tell you right now.
Oh, did we lose Sean?
Yes. Oh,
we may have lost him.
Sean went into a coma reading these comments.
I think Sean is pushing the fact that the comments are surprisingly heavier in favor of Everest.
Listen, does Splash Mountain have fake rubber poop in the queue? I don't think so.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, Jimmy Mattingly makes a great point. Ernest did not ride Everest. There is not a video of Ernest riding Everest. So
I
that is
think he would have though.
I mean, there's no Everest rap. There's no Everest rap.
There is the rap is an epic moment in culture. Actually.
Is it?
It's tough. We may have lost Sean
Everest.
for good. So I think we should put this to a vote. If it's too close, we'll come back to it. But we're moving to a vote. I'm going to need to see hands up if you're voting for Expedition Everest.
I'm gonna go Everest. They're both hands. Yeah.
Both hands. All right, that's 2-2. So we will have to see what Sean's vote is. But until he's back with us, we're going to come back and we're going to move right along to our back.
Hi, Sean.
He's back.
I'm gonna blame Hamburger.
The cat. All right, we're blaming the cat. Sean, you are the tiebreaker. Who do you vote for?
Oh, I gotta go Expedition Everest.
And Expedition Everest wins. There it is.
Wow.
Oh.
We
But
respect
Sarah's watching.
Lockdown.
I
We are
tried.
pumped to see what it is soon to become, although we don't have a date or a title, but changes are fun. Moving right along, our next matchup. We going across or down, Sean? Haunted Mansion?
We're going
Spaceship
down.
Earth?
We got the Haunted Mansion versus Spaceship Earth.
Oh. I'm gonna go for Haunted Mansion. I used to work at Haunted Mansion
Really?
a long time ago. Yeah, I actually got told I was too scary. Yeah, it's just an awesome ride, and I think it really like Spaceship Earth is cool, but Haunted Mansion really plays with like your imagination. And I remember as a kid, I was fine in that ride for like a hot second. And it was when we got to the end and we were going like this way and they're like, the ghost will follow you home. And then it was like, Lisa needed therapy after that because I really thought they did such a great job. It freaked me out. Like I thought ghosts had followed us home. Like I remember like people trying to calm me down. And because it gave me an emotional scar, I think I'm going to Haunted Mansion. But then I overcame that working there. So it's full.
I think this one might be a gimme. I don't know. I'm going Haunted Mansion for sure. I love Spaceship Earth, but I mean Haunted Mansion, I got it right there. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like to make edgy choices. I like to be a contrarian sometimes. But look, sometimes you just got to say the Beatles are the best band. Okay, Haunted Mansion is what I'm going with.
All right, listen.
Here we go.
In terms of the mansion, I'm going to compare it to Disneyland because I have to.
Mm-hmm.
Disneyland's you walk into a house. Disney World's, I was greatly disappointed to find that you walk through the side of a house.
The servants'
And then-
quarters.
Whatever. And then since like 2012 or whenever they put in the extended queue, you're just walking and all you hear is of kids like banging on things. So
Interactive.
all right.
I like making the sea captain sneeze on me. So excuse me. I like
right.
it. Okay.
You do you. That's fine. I do like their added staircase scene. Very cool. Ooh, I love it, Sean. Very
That is
nice.
Spooky toy.
But like in terms of originality and rides that you can't find anywhere else except for Epcot, it's got to be Spaceship Earth, man.
That is a good argument. It's the only Epcot ride on here, so that does say a
Insert
lot.
that burning Rome smell directly into my brain.
Okay.
Spritz it into my house.
That's
Devin
Sean.
also makes a good
Yeah.
point that one scientist does have a very sick yellow outfit. It is educational, but honestly, so is the Haunted Mansion. That's how I learned about ghosts growing up.
True.
So
True.
it is educational.
Yeah.
I'd also like to give a shout out to Andres in the comments. The Haunted Mansion played a huge role in my interest in horror and generally anything creepy, which I think Haunted Mansion does. It is a good introduction to horror. It's spooky, but it's fun. I'm also biased because I also did work there at a time. Haunted Mansion is one of my favorite rides of all time, and I think to me it's also a gimme. I think this is going to be an easy choice. But
All right.
Let's put it to a
Let's
vote.
go ahead and vote. Pat, you want to lead us to this vote?
yeah, we're going to see hands up for the Haunted Mansion, please. Hands up for Haunted Mansion. Arena, we respect the vote, but Haunted Mansion takes it, and we're moving right along.
All right. I tried, cavemen. I tried.
All right.
All right.
This one, I'm very excited for. We have Pirates of the Caribbean, Walt Disney World, of course, versus the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover.
Mhm.
I don't know where I'm voting. I'm throwing my vote to the audience. I'm going to
Oh,
abstain
dang.
from this one. So audience, go ahead and type either Pirates or People Mover, and I'm going to be tallying that. I'll let y'all kind of take this one away for a little bit.
I don't mean to draw another Disneyland versus Disney World comparison, but y'all, if you've only been to Florida, you need to go to California when Disneyland decides that it can open again and ride their Pirates. Because here's the thing. Walt Disney World wasn't originally supposed to have a Pirates of the Caribbean. The Imagineers thought it was too close to the actual Caribbean and people wouldn't care about pirates. But when the park opened, everyone was like, where's pirates? So they're like, all right, let's scrap Western River Expedition and let's build a pirates in like 2 years. That's why you don't go through the caverns. That's why there's no skeletons. That's why there's no Disneyland coolness. There's no Bayou scene or anything. So my vote is for the TTA, the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover, because if it's super crowded at Magic Kingdom and the only thing you can do is grab a corn dog and do one ride, baby, it's the People Mover, because you can walk right on that thing. And it's a great ride.
The
And that's that on that.
The votes are blowing me away. It's not. It's very close. So
I'm gonna have to go with Pirates, I think, just because again, I really like story-driven attractions, and that one it just does it. And I mean, there might be a line, but you're in the air conditioning and it's dark, and a lot of people make out in that line, and there's other places to look, so there's that too.
it's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
I feel like People Mover though is a little bit. Last time I went on it, it's like it's dilapidated in Florida. Also, maybe my memory as a child is also helping it, but I feel like you don't see as many fun things on the way around. And even though Pirates is still a lesser Pirates than out here, this is very difficult. Can I throw my vote to the audience as well?
Neil has
Sure.
a point. You can sip slushies on the People Mover, and you cannot do that on
Mover,
Pirates. They will yell at you.
Yeah.
Great food.
It's tough. I think it comes down to, for me, it's going to come down to what is the actual better ride. Because if I'm going to a park and I have to pick which ride to ride, because I'm only there for a short amount of time, I'm going to pick People Mover. Because to me, that's just more like laid back and fun, and you can people watch on it. But the history of Pirates and Pirates as an actual attraction is a more interesting and maybe a better experience. But this is gonna be tough for sure. But it is a timed show, so we're going to have to throw it to a vote.
I'll vote.
All right, everyone. So Sean, you're voting with the audience. Mike's got
I
his
do
own
have an
vote.
audience vote.
So we're gonna need to see hands up if you're voting for Pirates of the Caribbean.
Wow.
Pat, no! Pat, you just said it was a better Pat.
Look, I pick People Mover in my heart, but if we're talking what is the actual better attraction, it is Pirates of the Caribbean.
To be fair, Pat is also playing to keep his Christmas gifts coming from our father, because if he had voted for People Mover,
He keeps sending me text messages.
our dad would have. Yeah.
Like vaguely
I
threatening text messages.
Oh no, it's not vaguely. It's just threats.
I gotta get
I
this
love it.
voice in the okay.
Oh, here we go. Hinting
my
at what's
goodness.
next.
Cool.
All right, Sean,
Next
what do we got
up.
next?
Next up, we have Avatar: Flight of Passage versus Dinosaur, a one-word title. This is my Banshee, my Mighty Kron that can do all sorts of stuff, can talk. Take it away, everyone else.
Well, if you Google the phrase "the mighty Akron," my picture comes up, and that is not a joke. That is a fact. Google it, and it happens. No contest. It's got to be Avatar: Flight of Passage.
Yeah, this might be it. We might move quickly. Oh my goodness, Lisa's really upgrading here.
Oh,
My-
another Banshee.
Doggy.
All
All right. I'm gonna have to go with Dinosaur because Flight of Passage makes me ill. I have to like lay down for an hour after I go on that ride. So I do not like it. Not a big fan of simulator rides, even as I sit here wearing a Star Tours t-shirt. It's a 3D thing that doesn't work with my brain. So I'm gonna have to go with dinosaur because it is terrifying and wonderful. And I love when those things merge, and I love seeing children just burst into tears during and after a ride. It makes my heart so happy.
It's a plus. It definitely is. Is it too late to throw this to the audience?
No, go for it.
I have not. That is one. I didn't see that. I didn't think about it. I have not been on Avatar Flight of Passage.
Pat, can you tally that vote?
I will begin tallying for Lisa. For me, this is no contest. There's a right answer here, but I'm gonna hide what my answer is.
Oh wow! I will say I think Flight of Passage is only bested by Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance as the best ride at Walt Disney World. I think it's incredible. I cried the first time I rode it. Why? Couldn't tell you, but I did cry.
It's the beauty of life. That's why you cried.
It's beautiful.
Sorry.
So I don't know. Pat, let us know when you have
Neil's battle of pre-show scientists. So I'm gonna have to throw it to Dr. Marsh. She's my favorite.
Please vote if you have an opinion in the chat because it is a very close race right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just for the sake of time, I think we're gonna have to vote. Get it? From the pre-show. Okay. All right. Pat, do you have a consensus?
I do have a consensus.
All right. Please put your hand up if you'd like to vote for Avatar Flight of Passage.
Lisa, you are voting for Avatar Flight of Passage, by the way.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, she's an audience vote. I was like, excuse you?
She's audience.
So that's 3,
and
then Dinosaur takes the other 2? No, it did.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
That was incredible. All
That
right.
is-
Moving right along, we've got Jungle Cruise versus Kilimanjaro Safari.
Whoa.
I'm gonna get this out of the way. I spent 3 whole years of my life making jokes at the Jungle Cruise, and while I love real animals, the Jungle Cruise will always have a very large piece of my heart. And to me, it's far from a perfect ride, but one of the most important rides that Disney can ever have, because it's just one of the most unique things. So it's jungle, and I can't really say anything else.
I feel like we have the same life because we worked at Haunted Mansion. I also worked at Jungle Cruise.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so being a skipper. Yeah, I also love the real animals, but just because of the nostalgia and the history, Jungle Cruise I think is going to be for me.
I will say, here's what I will say. If you had to ride, brand new person, never been to Walt Disney World before, I would make sure they got on Kilimanjaro over Jungle Cruise. But if you're a return visitor, like I've done safaris probably 40 times, and honestly, I know all the dang animals. I know them. I know the okapi. I know this guy. I know that the upside down tree is, whatever. I know all that stuff. But those jokes keep me coming back. I love the Jungle Cruise jokes. I can see the animals. I can do, honestly, you want to see better animals? Do the treks, do the walks. They're better. I'm going to go Jungle Cruise for repeatability. That's me.
Jungle Cruise is just, it has the inept ability to be maybe the worst ride you've done ever, and then the best ride you've ever done. Because it's, and what other ride's going to give you that opportunity?
Listen, Kilimanjaro Safaris is the only ride you can go on with the potential that you will be on there for like 2 hours, and it's just because a zebra wants to stand there. Where else can you watch ostriches literally fight each other? Like that's what I'm about.
At Disney World, I don't think anywhere.
Yeah.
It's one of a kind. It's truly one of a kind. Where else can you ride in the world? Kilimanjaro Safaris. I mean, Busch Gardens has like a version of it, but we're not talking about Busch Gardens. We're talking about Disney World. Dang it. Real animals.
Yeah. I will say if it was the Disneyland version of Jungle Cruise, I'm a little more tempted to vote for Kilimanjaro, but I think Disney World's Jungle Cruise is really good and is better than Disneyland's. It's got a little more bang for your buck there. So if it's Disney World, I think it has to get the edge just because it's what Disney does, is doing fun stuff like Jungle Cruise, as opposed to seeing a bunch of cool real animals take a nap in front of you, which is awesome.
This is so rude. I feel like anything I make a point for, y'all are just gonna be like, next, move on. So
not true. Also,
no matter what I say.
Don Terrell makes a great point in the chat. The Jungle Cruise movie, which is coming out TBD, starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Kilimanjaro Safari, no movie so far. So,
and we
So
just brushed
far.
over the fact that Haunted Mansion has a great movie. So
No,
we'll come
we
back
don't
to
need
that.
to.
Though. We'll come back to it actually.
Starring Eddie Murphy. Murphy?
All right, we got to keep moving. So we got to throw this one up. Put your hands up if you'd like to vote for The Jungle Cruise. Sorry, Arena.
Almost a clean sweep. Thanks for being on the show, Raina. We really appreciate your votes.
Hey, it's good. No, it's good.
No, that wasn't meant to be sarcastic. We do. We like
Don't
letting
actually
opinions. We
advocate
like bumping heads. And we
Good,
love our haters.
because this
so-
would be really easy if I wasn't here. So you're welcome.
All right, up next, we have Star Wars Rise of the Resistance versus the Seven Dwarves Mine Train in our Name Too Long region. I am going to just go out here and say that the only reason I would expect anyone to vote for Seven Dwarfs is if they have not ridden Rise of the Resistance, because Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is fine.
Damn.
It is fine, indeed. I have a really good question. So, Rise of the Resistance, is that the one that you can get on? That you don't have to? No. Okay, I have.
No, it's the one you can sell your firstborn, and you can only go on if you have type O negative blood type.
Now I have to do this again. Where's
Not
the-
right now. Right now, all you need to have is a mask and a no fear of.
And a disregard for health
Yeah,
statistics.
I have actually not been able to ride Rise of the Resistance yet because I did not want to get rid of a comp ticket to do it. But I do know it's a better ride than Snow White. So while I will be voting in this one, assuming it moves on, I will be abstaining for the future votes involving this ride. Yeah, I think unless anyone has a really strong opinion about Snow White, which I think is a gorgeous ride and it is fun, but look what it's going up against. If anyone wants to say any last words, if not, we're going to put it to a vote.
I'm gonna vote for Rise of the Resistance, and I haven't even been on it.
Yep, we're on the same page, and I think we already know where this is going. Let's see hands for Rise of the Resistance. And that's a clean sweep, baby. There she goes. Love to see it.
I mean,
All right,
y'all cried during
wrapping
Flight
up-
of Passage. I literally cried watching the previs of Rise of the Resistance.
No
They were
spoilers.
just like, here's a derp version of what it's going to look like. And I was like, oh my God. So
it is truly
Okay.
incredible. If you haven't been on it, whenever it feels safe to do it, get on it. It's the best ride I've ever been on in my life. So that's all there is to that. Next up, our final matchup of the first round, we have the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror versus Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith. This one is tough. These babies
is
are right
actually
next to each other. I think a lot of people probably do the 1-2 hit, grab the fast pass, do the other one, etc. Oh my god!
Wow.
that's me.
Honestly,
So much. I love Steven
really
Tyler.
tough. Do have this toy. I don't have a Tower of Terror. Oh my god! I don't have a Tower of Terror toy, but I have this.
That
And
is a
the-
super stretch.
the head.
John, how about some backstage passes?
How about some backstage pass? They got rid of this.
Yeah, they
they
digitally
photoshopped
put
his finger.
back in because Disney went 10 years without realizing that this was a bad sign. The
Actually,
things they choose to care about, and
I
when they
went
choose
to Arizona
care
State
about them.
University, and this is the Devil Pitchfork.
Okay.
This is the bad one.
Oh, well.
This is ASU. Just saying.
Well, I'm gonna decide that I think Steven Tyler was trying to do the bad one, but
Yeah, I
Um,
would
that
say that he's
said-
not a Sun Devil.
Rock and Roller Coaster was my very first loop coaster, so
Aw.
special place in my heart for that reason.
Me too.
I think it was mine
Um,
too.
You too as well, my hell yeah. And Arena, okay. Well, I feel less special, but it's still a special connection. But Tower of Terror is just something special, man. That ride it oozes thematic. It's beautiful. It's immersive. Another movie spinoff based off of a wonderful series. It's just something special about going to that ride. That is a ride that I will walk in line with, and if I don't even get to ride it, I'm not disappointed because I still kind of
Incredible.
experienced it.
I
It's
feel that.
incredible. These rides are both great. They are the 1-2 punch. I usually don't ride one without the other. We respect a single rider's line. We love a single rider's line. But for me, this is actually no contest. This is going to be Tower for me.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you ask Andres, who took me on my first ride on Tower of the Terror, and I broke his eardrums, I don't like Tower of Terror. I do not like the feeling of being pulled down. My stomach doesn't like that. So I'm the ride weenie. Hello, it's me. So I don't like riding Tower of Terror, but Tower of Terror is so good that, like what Pat said, if the people that I'm with that day want to ride Tower of Terror, I will literally wait in the queue with them and then take the chicken exit out, which is also mysteriously an elevator. So if you're scared of elevators, you're just, I'm sorry.
Don't go anywhere near it.
But yeah, Tower of Terror, man, theming is so good. So good.
It's incredible. The ride is incredible. It is better than the old Tower of Terror that was at Disney's California Adventure. The new version of that ride is amazing, but we're not talking about that. I will say I got to go Tower of Terror on this. And you know why? Here's my deciding factor. It's that freaking billboard, baby. Driving down World Drive, that billboard of
with the people being like,
oh my God. I used to pass that every morning driving into work, and it's incredible. They both have incredible storylines. One, you are facing ghosts, and the other, you are going to see a concert. Both incredibly immersive. But I gotta say, I gotta go Tower on this one.
I was just in Florida a few months ago, and we talked a little bit about it on the podcast, and there was a very important decision we had to make. One more ride at the end of Hollywood Studios, and my girlfriend Lindsay and my co-host Jason, they said, you know what, we want to do Tower of Terror, of course. And I said, you know what I actually want to do? I want to rock and roll one more time. And I think partly because now we have a ride out here that is very good, a drop tower themed to Guardians of the Galaxy, which has a much more interesting visual component while you're actually doing the dropping, which is the bulk of the thrill. I found myself a bit let down when I rode Tower of Terror last time, and that went into my thought process for wanting to rock with the boys, the bad boys from Boston, Aerosmith, one of the top rock and roll bands of all time. And I'm going to say, and it's crazy, I know, but you know what? One of Aerosmith's songs is named Crazy. So I'm going to say Rock and Roller Coaster.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Done.
I like to rock.
He does. All right.
Look,
I think
I can't fault you for the vote.
I think it's time to vote.
It's agreed. It's time to vote. Sean, take it away.
Put your hand in the air. Oh, wow. There they are. There they are.
Yeah.
Flesh and blood, Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Put your hand up if you'd like to vote for the Tower of Terror. Wow, it sneaks through. Oh, it's 4-1. Okay.
Mike, thanks for being on the show.
Could I use my hill to die on to just read the lyrics to Aerosmith's Jaded?
Oh, baby, you can absolutely do that.
I know. I'm just kidding. I don't want to do that.
Oh,
Okay.
man, I was getting excited. All right.
So, give me one moment, and I'm going to bring up the bracket as it stands. We want to bring that up right now. We have our updated bracket here. So now we are the winners that have moved on. We have Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Expedition Everest. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen after I lost internet, so hold on. There she is. So we have Big Thunder Mountain, Expedition Everest, Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, Flight of Passage, Jungle Cruise, Rise of the Resistance, Tower of Terror. Moving on. Up first, we have Big Thunder versus Everest. And as a reminder, whatever wins this round will go on to our ultimate Orlando bracket. So this is a big one. We got Big Thunder versus Everest.
Wow.
All right. I saw a lot of comments that I have been canceled because of my nostalgic ties to Splash Mountain. I understand why it's changing. I get it. Let me just put that out there. I wanted to vote for Splash Mountain because of the mechanics of the ride, the way that it is designed. Expedition Everest, very cool ride, but there are other roller coasters in existence that do a track switch and go backwards. Expedition Everest is basically a roller coaster that does this, encased in a mountain. Splash Mountain and Thunder Mountain, which is my segue, the rockwork and the track are built around each other so that you have a fully immersive experience, and you're passing rocks, you're passing animatronics, you're going in tunnels. Expedition Everest is mostly dark. It is a very fun roller coaster. The queue is amazing. But I'm gonna have to go Big Thunder just because of the scenic beauty of the ride, and that's why I originally had voted for Splash Mountain.
I get it.
There is nothing
love that.
better than Big Thunder at night. It's the greatest, especially in Disneyland, but also in Disney World. It's got to be Big Thunder.
Have you ever been on the riverboat and waved at people on Big Thunder as they go
Look,
around like that?
The
That whole
riverboat.
mechanic is so cool.
I worked at the riverboat for a year and a half. I love the riverboat, and there's nothing more There's just nothing more poetic than coming around the bend on Big Thunder, and the boat's coming by, and and the world's perfect, and it doesn't really exist outside of Disney. Thunder is the thematic winner here. Everest is maybe the better roller coaster, but it's Disney World. You don't come here to experience like intense thrills. You come here to experience the stories and everything. So it's got to be Big Thunder for me as well.
So I gotta speak up for Everest real quick. So I agree. Big Thunder is incredible. And honestly, I don't know where I'm voting yet, but I want to say, so first, if anyone is unaware, the Everest queues are so heavily themed that the standby queue is different from the fast pass queue, in that the idea is that you're hiring a Sherpa, you're buying all your equipment to go hike Everest. If you go through the standby queue, you go through all the stores because you're like a first timer climber. If you go through the fast pass queue, you skip all that. How cool is that? Like, they built in the fact that if you are a fast pass rider, you've done this before, you don't need the whole rigmarole. I would also say, and I was thinking about this, I think I'm going to say it. I think Everest adds more land theming to Asia than Big Thunder in Florida adds to Frontierland. Because it's tucked too far back. Unless you're on the riverboat, unless you're on Tom Shore Island, it's tucked way back there. Disneyland's a different story, but it just kind of feels plopped. Versus Everest, that land was built around that mountain. You know what I mean? So I don't know where I'm going. I might be going to Everest. It's crazy. I didn't think I'd do that.
It's a very, very good point, Sean.
It is a good point.
A fun fact about Big Thunder Mountain, one of my favorite rides ever, the prospector guy that it does the voiceover, the wildest ride in the wilderness, it's the same voice as the guy who does Ben Franklin for American Adventure, which I would also die in a hell for, just
Okay.
FYI.
Just for that fact, I'm going Big Thunder Mountain.
This is very tough. Sean may have swayed me a bit.
I think Sean may have swayed me as well.
It's
Oh,
because
yikes.
it really comes down to, like, on the ride, I'd rather be on Big Thunder, but Everest really did the property Everest took up does more than the property that. Oh man, this is very hard. Oh god damn it!
This is the situation where, because if it's Disneyland, it's Big Thunder all day long.
Absolutely.
There's no question, but it is in an odd spot in Disney World in Magic Kingdom.
Oh man,
I think we got
Got 2 words for you. Yeehaw, baby.
I do like those words.
All right, I think it's time to vote. We got to vote Big Thunder Mountain Railroad versus Expedition Everest. Put your hand up if you'd like to vote for Big Thunder.
I'm going Everest.
Everest.
I gotta go Everest.
Wow.
Great point.
Wow.
Okay,
John,
I will
John,
say
you-
when you're
you
walking
did
down
it.
that path to Asia and you round the corner and it's like, boom, it's right there.
Oof. I could talk about the theming of the Asia land for days. The wood, how much wood is stacked up. Forget it. We can talk
Wonderful.
later.
It,
Piles
okay,
of bricks.
My
piles
mind
of bricks.
is rushed with information about just the queue alone for Everest beats a lot of rides.
Yeah.
And it's,
Yeah.
and it's also a good ride. So like I know I shit on it just calling it a roller coaster, but it is a good roller coaster.
Well,
but all
We're
right.
going to get to talk
And
about it
which
again.
other ride has a entire hill of ponytail holders?
Also a good question.
It's very
All right.
weird. Okay.
Up
sorry.
next, we have this one, crazy. Haunted Mansion versus Pirates of the Caribbean.
Just because I severely hate, I'm not going to say hate, compared to Disneyland, Magic Kingdom's Pirates is, so it's got to be Mansion for me. No question.
I do want to say that yes, Disneyland's Pirates is way, way better, but it's in the root of it, it is the same ride. Disney just has an extra beginning and an end to it. So to think that they're entirely different rides is wrong. That being said, to me, it's obviously Haunted Mansion here. Haunted Mansion is, and again, also very differences depending on the coast. We're focusing on the East Coast. it's just Haunted Mansion. It's fun. It's spooky. I also worked there a little bit, so I'm biased. But it's Sean's got something to say.
Sean's upset.
I can't. I got to throw to the audience. I'm throwing to the audience again. I'm going to tabulate your votes. I don't know. I think it might be Mansion, but then I think about my dad, and I think it might be Pirates, and I think about the movies, and then it's definitely, I can't. And then smells. I don't know. I'm done. Audience, go ahead.
I'm going to go with Mansion too, just because I think there's more storytelling, and I mean, they're both heavily with story, but I think Haunted Mansion elicits a little bit more of imagination and emotion. And I think that's what just kind of puts it over the edge just a little bit. You guys, there's no losers in this mix. There's no losers.
Technically there are, but
how dare you?
I do want to also give a shout out to both rides in the sense that Adventureland and Liberty Square are a very unique location at Disney because they are where you get specific costumes to the role. Where in other lands, in Tomorrowland, everybody wears the same outfit if you're working at Space Mountain or Buzz Lightyear or People Mover. But it adds to it a little bit too. So I have to give the Haunted Mansion costume a little bit of an edge above the Pirates costume. I respect the striped socks and the hat, but the Mansion costume is very just spot on too. And so I'm sorry,
different
Dad.
costumes unless you work at Aladdin Tiki Treehouse, in which you just wear pajamas the whole time.
If I may, I can't allow any hate speech towards Tomorrowland. They wear the same costumes because it's the future and it's efficient, and that's what Walt wanted. He wanted everyone to work everywhere without questioning it, and that's why they're the same costumes.
Okay, well, they also wear the same costume in Fantasyland. All of Fantasyland wears the same costume. Like all of Epcot, Future World wears the same costume.
Listen, I don't want to. Whenever you guys are ready, it is a runaway. So whenever you guys are ready, I'm ready for the audience.
Let's do it. Let's vote.
I'm ready to vote.
Hands up for Haunted Mansion. Clean sweep.
Dang.
There goes my holiday gift. Sorry, Dad.
So our father joins us every week. He's the best. When my dad comes to Disney World, whenever he comes to visit, we always ask, what do you want to do? And he says, I want to go ride Pirates and I want to drink a beer at the Rose and Crown at Epcot. And that's it. So unfortunately, half of my dad's favorite part of Walt Disney World has been eliminated.
I have no sons in the chat.
Well, listen, Pat and Sean's dad, all of
The
my
bracket
favorites have
orphans.
been eliminated. So.
All right.
The
I
bracket.
may have lost internet again.
Oh my goodness. All right. Please don't lose internet again because you have the newest brackets. So I believe our next matchup is going to be Avatar Flight of Passage versus Jungle Cruise.
Oh.
If I'm wrong about that. No, that's who won. Yeah. So let's talk. What do we got? We have a peak technological attraction versus maybe one of the least technological attractions, which I would argue gives that attraction a little bit of fun. But again, I'm going to be biased going into this one. Flight of Passage is an incredible experience. The smells alone are worth going on. If you get nauseous, just ride the ride, close your eyes, enjoy the smells. But to me, I also do get a little nauseous on it. Even with how new technology it is, it's still got to be Jungle. It's still unique. It's
the nostalgia value. It's just fun.
It's the face-to-face value of human interaction. The Jungle Cruise.
I'm going to say, and this is not just because I'm an Avatar shill, the first time I ever went on this ride, it's unlike any other first time I ever went on any other ride. There was a noise that the people I was with, and not people I knew, people I was with, made once the ride was over. And it was a noise of pure sadness and disappointment that they were being pulled out of Pandora. Like this noise of like, no, put me back, take me back. And I've never experienced that on any other ride. Now, I will say the last time I was on this ride, the projection was a little funky, and I don't know if it was because of where we were in the tiers of the whatever, if it's 3 tiers, that might have influenced your eyes to make you want to throw up. it was a little less good. I will say though, any ride that can make people wish they didn't live on the earth, I think I'm going to give the edge to Flight of Passage.
That's a good point. Flight of Passage is the only ride I've ever told people visiting Disney World to wait in line for.
Yes, I did not regret whatever the first time was 3 hours or something insane. I really think it provided a different type of experience. The part, and I'm being very sincere, the part where you take a breath and you see the thing, whatever the Pandoran things float up. I don't know that there's ever a more beautiful moment in theme park rides than that moment. So I'm going to have to, I think I'm leaning toward Flight of Passage.
I would say that me being a very oddly shaped person, I would say that Jungle Cruise is more inclusive to all people to ride. And I don't really like to be on a breathing motorcycle in the dark. Besides the nausea factor. Great ride, great smells, great film. If that was just a film and I could go in and sit down and watch it, excellent. But there's something that, like, my legs being enclosed, and, like, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a very tall person whose proportions are very odd. So I kind of have to, like, crunch in to, like, even go on Flight of Passage. So it's gotta be Jungle Cruise for me.
Well, unfortunately, this is only an hour-long show, and we still have many things to debate. So we are going to have to push it to a vote.
Vote.
So, though it might break my heart, let's see it. Hands up if you are voting for Avatar Flight of Passage. Jungle survives! I did not see that coming.
Wow.
Sticking with the old. Look, if I didn't work at Jungle, my vote may have been Flight of Passage. But alas, here we are, and we're moving forward to our next matchup. Rise of the Resistance versus the Tower of Terror. I am going to abstain from this vote because I love Tower, but I have not ridden Rise, and I feel like these should actually be debated. So, audience, start voting now. I'm going to start counting. Rise versus
I'm
Tower.
not voting either. I'm not going to vote because I haven't.
All right.
Rise of the Resistance.
That's fair. That's fair. If there's a tie, we'll figure out how to break the tie, but we'll do one big audience vote for me and Lisa.
That's right.
I do want to say I don't want to spoil anything about Rise of the Resistance, so I'm not going to mention any of the ride mechanics.
Thank you.
Because that might be something that people want to talk about. I don't want to bring that up. I just want to say, theming-wise, like a standalone thing, Tower of Terror is incredible. Rise, before Rise opened, I thought that Batuu was fine. I thought that Galaxy's Edge was okay. That ride pulls it all together. It pulls all the little storylines together in my mind. I think it's incredible. It's the best ride I've ever been on. Tower might be like 2 or 3 in that, but I gotta go Rise. It's incredible.
Chat, keep voting because we're tied right now. Keep voting.
Rise is very good. I will say I gotta bring Great Movie Ride up because Great Movie Ride. It's Rise. If you don't know anything about it, I will hint that it is very reminiscent of Great Movie Ride. And when Great Movie Ride was taken out, I was devastated. So the fact that it has kind of that little piece of cast member interactivity with guests. Tower has that too, but you have very specific stations and you have very specific, things that you're supposed to do at each position. You're either merge or you're loading or whatever. Rise has positions where you are, encouraged to actually interact with guests. It's kind of more of an improv sort of thing, kind of how Great Movie Ride was. So since GMR holds such a special place in my heart, I think it would put Rise over the edge for me. But I understand all the people voting for Tower because a lot of people haven't been on Rise. So it's a tough thingy.
And it's a little bit of a spoiler, Pat, but Arena is referring to the part of Rise of the Resistance where you go into a part of Footlight Parade. It's a bit of a spoiler, but it is reminiscent.
It is nice really we use that.
Yeah,
Disney's really good at recycling props.
There's a bunch of ladies in shower caps like this.
All right, unless I see any more votes, I do have a winner from the chat. So let's push this to a vote. So only 4 votes will be happening. Raise your hands if you are voting for Tower of Terror. The audience goes with Tower, but the show goes with Rise.
Mm-hmm.
Tower had it by 1 vote in the audience. So
Wow.
Rise of the Resistance conquers. And
I
believe
wish that I could
that
talk about
gives us-
spoilers, but I can't. Go on,
All right.
Rise. When
All
it
right.
opens.
We
Or
got to
when it
keep
can go.
moving. We're running out of time. So we are up in our final 4. We have Expedition Everest versus the Haunted Mansion. This is,
Mm.
Mansion.
Mansion.
yeah, I'm going Mansion.
Yeah, but that Asia point you made earlier,
It's big.
it's big point.
It's
I really
big.
appreciate that point.
Mike, I'm just curious. Want to pick your brain? Exterior, Disneyland or Disney World? Haunted Mansion.
Oh, good question.
I will say this. I think they both have their own. They all both have their merits, and it's
They
one of the only
complement the
ones.
lands accurately.
It's one of the only one like Pirates in Florida exterior wise. Who cares?
Dumb.
But Pirates in Disneyland, a very cool part of New Orleans Square. But I can see liking both Haunted Mansion exteriors equally. Because the Haunted Mansion in Florida is a little tucked away, which is fun. It's a little spookier. It's a little bit more like almost like Tower of Terror, where you feel like you have to get to it as opposed to the house just being right there.
That forced perspective a little bit.
Yeah. I got to probably go Haunted Mansion though.
All right.
I
well,
will
think we
say,
got a vote.
as a big fan of the paranormal, I do love that this has come down to a cryptid versus ghost. That's very important to me.
Wow, that is true.
That's a great point. I'm sensing a trend as we talk. So unless anybody has a hill to die on, we're going to put this to a vote. And I'm going to need to see hands up for the Haunted Mansion. That's a clean sweep in your final
Wow.
4. Rare to see.
Wow.
Moving right along. Mansion's in the final.
All right, we are at our final one. We have Jungle Cruise versus Rise of the Resistance. What is going to go up against Haunted Mansion? I'll say right now, I'm going Rise of the Resistance with a bullet, but I'll let you all talk about it.
I feel like I should go with Rise of the Resistance, even though I haven't written it, but that seems to be the popular vote, and I just want to belong.
Fair.
I think all of us know that feeling.
Again, I haven't ridden Rise, but I am going to vote in this one because, and it's not going to be a shock of how I'm voting. Well, I respect the technological advances our rides are getting to, but I still believe that the older ways can be great in the way that the Jungle Cruise is still wonderful. But I realize Rise is probably the better ride. But that's all I'll say on this.
I don't have as much love for Jungle Cruise as I have for the other nostalgia rides.
That's fair.
So I do probably have to go Rise. I mean, if this was Country Bears versus Rise of the Resistance, that's a different story entirely. But
We
this
had to
is
leave
Jungle
shows
Cruise.
out.
Well, of course, I understand. I'm not mad.
Go to the
I'm
big
just saying.
I think you're mad.
Okay, I am furious. You're
Stop
right.
yelling.
So I'm very upset. But yeah, it's got to be Rise of the Resistance.
All right.
And just to address the
better
chat, Runaway Railroad was not included because it is far too new, and
Also-
given the closure of the parks and everything.
And also,
Uh,
it killed Great
again-
Movie Ride, so
Also
it's my
not
arch
called.
nemesis.
I will
Also,
say,
it's cute, but it's just okay.
nope, stop. All right, I'm using my Hill to Die on to plug Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Give me 60 seconds. 'Cause
And
Here it goes.
you are on the clock. Go.
Listen, I have a hat. I love the Great Movie Ride. I think it was very unique and nostalgic. It was kind of like the one piece of MGM that was still there. It got yanked. I don't love that it got yanked, but listen, Mickey and Minnie's is incredible. I know a lot of people haven't been on it. It's open now. Once you feel safe enough to go. I don't want to spoil anything. All I will say is it's like take Rise of the Resistance, maybe chop it down to like 80% and swap out Kylo Ren for freaking Goofy, and that's the ride. And it's so good. The song is super catchy. You want to talk about catchy songs? That one's got it. I don't know. It's the use of projection mapping is better than any other attraction I've been on. It's super you feel like you're in there. You don't know what's going on. It's trackless. So if you haven't been on a trackless ride before, it's mind blowing. You don't know where you're going next. You're in rooms that you thought you were in before. They look different.
Can we mute Sean?
No,
All right,
not
great.
different.
Okay, he stopped.
Anyway.
Great. We respect the Hill to Die on. That has nothing to do with the bracket. So thank you, Sean. No, it is a wonderful ride. I just didn't want to talk it up too much for people to get mad that it's not on here. If you ever get the opportunity, please go ride it. It's great, but it's not here. RIP GMR. We got to talk
Can I use
about
my
what
Hill
we
to Die on for
yeah.
GMR?
You absolutely can. Would you like to go?
Yeah. Let's
Okay,
do
your
it, baby.
time starts now.
Listen, Great Movie Ride was a staple of Hollywood Studios. It was one of the originals. It was like taking the Haunted Mansion out of Magic Kingdom, and that's not an exaggeration. Listen, where else can you get shot at, blasted in the face with fire, see a freaking glycerin drip fountain, and very questionable animatronics of many celebrities? It's Great Movie Ride, baby. Most of the effects didn't work most of the time. That's okay. It's the thought that counts. It really is. And I would have maybe been okay with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I mean, I haven't ridden it yet, so whatever. That's beside the point. I have many friends who worked on it. Love you guys. Great work, I'm sure. However, why are you going to use the new style of Mickey and Minnie animation? Why? Everyone agrees that it's not great.
Oh, that's not
They
true.
made Goofy
Ooh, I
look
like
like
it.
a homeless man who's also a zombie. They did my Goofy boy dirty.
And that is the
Whatever.
time.
That's a
Thank you
wrap.
for your Hill to Die on.
Love it.
The new animation style is actually great. We've already gone over the length of the show, and we still have another matchup. Let's put this to a vote.
Yep.
Let's see hands up for Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance. Easy enough. I'm happy to not vote here. Really, that's fine. Probably the right ride
right.
wins, and we've got our final matchup, the moment you've all been waiting for. And again, if you're following along with the Bracket Brothers, there will be a Universal show, and then these top four will be going against Universal's top four. But right now, we got our top two,
Ooh.
baby. We've got the
We
Haunted
got
Mansion.
Haunted Mansion versus Rise of the Resistance. We got old versus new. We got classic versus, well, really, they're both classic characters. I mean, come on. But I don't know. I this one is very tough. This is nostalgia versus the future of theme parks, right? It's I don't know. I don't know where I'm going yet. I want to hear what everyone has to say.
I like the constant characters on Haunted Mansion. I'll say that. And there are a lot of characters on Rise of the Resistance, but there are long stretches that don't have as much character to them, as much warmth from characters. And even though I like that ride is really great, and it's partly because the ride is so big, you can't pack it with characters. But there is a feeling of like, all my friends are on the Haunted Mansion. So I'm just leaning more toward a little bit more of that right now, at least.
I actually used to date that singing mummy in the coffin, so we're still friends.
Out of there. Scared for that dog. He's scared. So yeah, he's my friend. I'd get him out of there.
My friend. I will say with Rise of the Resistance, you do take a huge risk whenever you base ride elements off of living people, which I think is also a problem that Guardians of the Galaxy, the tower revamp, runs into. Because in 10 years, that's going to look outdated. But, you know, to a certain extent, like, the character lives on in the movie separate from, you know, the actors. So, I mean, they did do that with Indiana Jones. There's an animatronic of Harrison Ford. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the return of the Popeyes.
Oh, Popeyes.
Oh, God. Alex Russin is in the chat.
But yeah, I will say that my heart is still with Disneyland's Mansion, and Rise of the Resistance is the future. And that has been one of the rides that I actually did, like, actually cry on the first time I went on.
Well, I cry on Mansion every time I ride it, and it's out of love and not fear because I'm not a big baby. But old versus new.
Quick, I will just say Haunted Mansion, I love, because this is the last time we're going to get to talk about it. I love the two sides of it, the silly and the spooky. I think it's a very cool backstory. If you don't know it, you can Google it. Also, I will say the disembodied heads that spring out behind the tombstones in the graveyard scene is straight up the scariest thing in the whole world. And it gets me every time, and I get scared every single time. And nothing on Rise really makes me scared. So I think I might actually go with Mansion. I mean, it's decorating my home. It is in my blood, literally.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I have a huge attachment to Mansion because as a ride weenie, not wanting to go on literally anything scary growing up, there was a book that came out that was all about the Haunted Mansion. and the Imagineering that went into it, and it had sketches and pictures. And I checked that thing out so much from the library that it literally fell apart, and they made my mom buy it. So Haunted Mansion, like, it holds a special place in my heart just because of that, because I was so terrified to ride it for so long that I became a Haunted Mansion expert. And I would just stand in Disneyland and stare at the mansion and think about everything that was inside of it. And like finally getting to experience it in real life was like mind-blowing and everything that I wanted, and also terrifying. So Mansion, man,
there's a lot of feelings here.
Rise of the Resistance,
I do just want to do, before we get to this vote, and we are running a little long on time, we post our brackets early every week so people can play along. This week we had a special entrance of a bracket by none other than our father. And before we pick our winner, we just want to see how close he came to matching it up with this week's bracket. Obviously, we currently have Mansion versus Rise. Sean, do you have Dad's bracket? Can we compare them?
I do. If we want to throw it up real quick, I'd love to walk you through this. This was my dad's take on the bracket. We have It's a Tiny World versus Pirates, Pirates versus The Round Thing at Epcot, Bunch of Animals Mostly Sleeping versus Pirates, Pirates versus Ellen, Bill, and Dinosaurs. Again, Pirates versus Mr. Toad Getting Screwed by Winnie the Pooh. Elephants Can't Really Fly. That's a shot at Dumbo versus Pirates. What Birds, which is a very inside joke between just the 4 people in my family about the Tiki Room versus Pirates. And then Pirates versus Bunch of Space Stories. So unfortunately, that is...
So Dad did not win this week's prize.
Wait, so Dad, what won?
To see.
So I'm assuming it's Pirates.
I think it came up to a matchup of Pirates versus Pirates, and he went with Pirates.
I asked your dad. It could have been Animals Mostly Sleeping.
Could have been. We're 7 minutes over the length of the show, and everybody needs to know what's going to win. So please, our final votes. Please raise your hands if you are voting for Star Wars Rise of the Resistance.
Wow.
A clean sweep to Haunted Mansion is the winner. I didn't see it coming. My God, our dad did just tell us the Pirates did win his bracket. Ladies and gentlemen, old versus new, old wins here in this bracket. Thank you so much for joining us this week on the Bracket Brothers as we broke down what, in our opinions, were the top 16 rides in the East Coast of Disney. Thank you to our guests, Arena, Lisa, Michael. Do you guys want to say anything before you go? You want to plug anything if you're on social medias? We'll start with you, Mike.
Just listen to Podcast The Ride. You can find it where all your podcasts are. Mine, that's what I'll say. My Twitter name, PHATCARLSON, on Twitter, and just that I love to rock. That's what I'd like to say at the end.
That's important to know. Lisa, do you have anything you want to say to the people?
Absolutely not.
And that's what we love. How about you, Arena?
You can follow my Instagram. It's my first name and my last name, Arena Schmidt, AREYNASCHMIDT. I'm the only Arena Schmidt in existence. But my profile picture is Captain Marvel. So you can go follow me if you feel so inclined.
Yes.
Sean's going to go grab hamburger. Once again, guys, thank you so much. This is a weekly show every Sunday night at 8 p.m. live on SAC. Next week, we will be keeping it in the theme of Disney. We will be going through our top Pixar movies.
Ooh.
So Pixar movies next week with some more special guests. Oh, my goodness.
That's my plug. Take in Stray Cats because they're great. That's my plug.
Take in Stray Cats.
That's very important to me.
But have your pet spayed and neutered and all that Bob Barker stuff.
Thanks, Bob Barker.
Thank you, Bob Barker. Tune in next week for Pixar, and then soon to come, the Universal bracket, and then our top 4 versus our top 4 Universal Disney. We'll be keeping it on the East Coast. Thank you, everyone. If you're riding
Comedy Lab.
Thank you, SAC Comedy Lab. Check out SAC every night of the week, live or streaming. We're always doing jokes and whatnot.